RAUSCH Games! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to RAUSCH Games here on YouTube. More importantly, welcome back to my WWE 2K14 Universe Mode. This is episode 30. This is a big one. This is longer than I've ever gone in a Universe Mode. And we're here for our third episode of NXT in the month of May 2K14. We are coming to you live from my own backyard, finally, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Wells Fargo Center, home of your Sixers, your Flyers, and about 11,240 WWE NXT fans. We've got 5 matches on the card tonight. If you were on our Reddit earlier this week, you know all about them already. We're opening up with Tensai here, one half of your NXT Tag Team Champions, taking on Justin Gabriel in a one-fall match. Tensai has been absolutely dominant here in NXT, as well as his partner, Mr. Brodus Clay, the Funkasaurus. They've been all over the competition down here. Brodus Clay is our universe's only double champion right now. He is both an NXT Tag Champion and the Internet Champion after beating Zack Ryder at last month's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. But we know that didn't end up too poorly for Zack Ryder, as at the end of this week, he's going to take on the Miz one-on-one for the NXT Championship, as booked by Stephanie McMahon several weeks ago. And they will be meeting one final time before that title match. That'll happen tonight. It'll be a one-fall, non-title affair. That's our main event. We're also going to see Mark Henry and Big John Studd take each other on. That'll be a little bit later on tonight. We know all about Mark Henry and the restraining order. Big John Studd and the restraining order that Adeceve has placed against him. We're interested to see if Mark Henry brings her out to the ring. Does that mean they can't have a match? There's a big wraparound German suplex from Tensai to Justin Gabriel, and Tensai going in with punches, but Gabriel with a nice block there. We haven't seen too much of Justin Gabriel so far. He's made spot appearances, and he's mainly been a jobber to bigger and better things here on NXT, but he's definitely looking to make something of himself in front of this Philadelphia crowd just days before our Over the Limit pay-per-view here in NXT. That's going to be the first of 5 pay-per-view events we have over, the next 6 weeks. We've got one weekend off of no pay-per-views, but we've got both big brands with their Over the Limit, then we've got King of Trios, and then we've got the NXT Royal Rumble, and then WWE Money in the Bank, and a huge super fall-away slam from Tensai to Justin Gabriel. Gabriel looks dead. Tensai's got him up, double chokehold lift here, slamming him down, sit-out style. Beautiful move from Tensai. And now Tensai spitting that green mist that he's kept from his Japanese gimmick, despite being part of the Tons of Funk here. There's a chop to the throat of Justin Gabriel, more mist, and Tensai looks like he's just chopping the air here. And he's got that glove right in the eyes of Justin Gabriel, blinding him with the mist. And then we've got the pin from him, 1. Oh, but we cut to an unfortunate replay. The ref's going to lose count here. We're at 1, 2, 3. There's your match, ladies and gentlemen. Tensai beats Justin Gabriel pretty easily to open us up here in Philly. We're going to come right back. We've got 4 more matches to get through. And like I said, we're building tonight for our big main event, Miz Ryder. One more time before the NXT Championship is on the line. We'll be right back, guys. Well, of course, after we watch Tensai repeat his moves a little bit. Let's get to our commercial break here. Get out of this quick and easy first match. And there we are. Black screen. There it is. Tensai's happy. All right, now we will be right back. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Match number 2 here from the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. We've got Ravishing Rick Rude taking on Erick Rowan of the Wyatt family. Rick Rude looking okay so far, has a win in his only match at NXT, while the Wyatt family, they've been good in the matches they've been featured in. They just haven't been featured as much as they would like to. They predicted that they would be a bit more of a dominant force down here in NXT, but the ever-esteemed general manager Stephanie McMahon sees that there is something wrong with them and decides not to book them. She is obviously correct, as she is never incorrect in her booking decisions. She is the best thing ever, the best executive ever, the best woman ever. Moving into the match, Erick Rowan throws Rick Rude into the turnbuckle, and there's an inverted atomic drop, dropping him on his face. That was really nice from Rowan there. I like that maneuver a lot. And these two, this match is pretty significant here heading into next month, as they will both be featured on trios being put forth by NXT for the King of Trios tournament. NXT will have 4 of the possible 14, I'm sorry, 5 of the 14 from the WWE Universe making their way into the King of Trios tournament. Not sure who's going to actually make it to the pay-per-view, but you will see the Wyatt family as a whole. You will see 3MB, now managed by Paul Heyman as of IWC last Saturday night. Big clothesline from Erick Rowan sends Rude flying. Wonderful attack there. You'll also see Team NXT with Mr. Rude here, the RAUSCH, and former NXT champion and current victim of a restraining order, Big John Studd. You'll also see Tons of Funk +1. You're going to see the tag team champions of NXT, Brodus Clay and Tensai, as well as Ric Flair, who nobody has seen since he and Antonio Cesaro and Kofi Kingston were all demoted here from Raw and SmackDown, as well as Alberto Del Rio. It'll be the first appearance of any one of those negative 4 horsemen that have been sent down from the WWE Universe to make room for other people on the roster after last month's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. And Rowan just bringing it here with a reverse chinlock, and Rude has absolutely no answer for the strength of Erick Rowan, one of the 3 heavies of the 3-man Wyatt family. Big boot right to the chest of Rick Rude. And then your final team from NXT, you're also going to see Cobra +1, which, as I mentioned when we announced them on IWC, is the one team I hope loses more than once in the tournament, if it's even possible. You're going to have Zack Ryder, currently the #1 contender for the Miz's NXT Championship. You'll have Santino Marella. They are the team of Cobra. And you're going to finish off by adding David Otunga to that group. They are pretty much just filler candidates there. But it's okay. NXT is happy to be representing in the tournament. 5 teams is a lot for the minor league brand of the WWE. And they're going to do what they can to bring home the King of Trios bragging rights for Vince McMahon's extended company, so that the shady, shadowy, previously unknown, still unknown general manager of the internet wrestling community, the independent wrestling community, whatever you want to call it, so that he does not get those trophies for his IWC cabinet, although he's going to have quite a few teams with a lot of talent in the match. Big time reversing belly-to-belly suplex from Rowan there, and Rude has to get out of the ring one more time. He's trying to get the crowd behind him, but Erick Rowan is just on a warpath here, and I don't think any kind of crowd support is going to help Rude, but there's a nice drop toe hold on the outside. Now runs at Rowan, gets him with a clothesline of his own, does Rick Rude, and Rude's going to slide back up in the ring and again appeal to the crowd here. Our second match. Next up, we will have Mark Henry taking on Big John Studd. That will be a Falls Count Anywhere match. No word on whether or not Adeceve, Mr. Henry's manager, is in the building tonight. We're going to have to see how that one plays out. After that, we are going to have Heath Slater. I always get them mixed up. I don't know why. They're nowhere near the same. Huge choke slam from Erick Rowan to Rick Rude. Rude, just kicks out right before 3. The match almost ends on that choke slam from Erick Rowan, but Rude does stay in it. Rowan, though, with a snapmare into another reverse chinlock, but Rick Rude gets pushed up into the ropes. We're going to see Heath Slater taking on the Internet and Tag Team Champion of NXT, Brodus Clay. That'll be a 1-fall match later on. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We haven't seen too much of Clay since he won that Internet Championship. And now, wait, there's Rick Rude, Rowan up over his shoulder, and he's got the backbreaker in, and Rowan is down. And now Rude flexing for the crowd, kissing the guns in his weird-looking tights, spins Rowan around. He's got him twisting around, and the gyration of the hips into the big-time neckbreaker from Rude. And now he's going to go for a pin on Rowan. The ref is down. 1, 2. Rowan kicks out also right before 3. The match goes on, going a bit longer than we thought. Rowan was dominant, but now Rude has woken back up. There's a big backdrop from him, and now he's stomping on the back of Rowan. Runs at him. Rowan with a big back body drop of his own. And Rude needs to get out of the ring one more time and regroup and gyrate. And now running at Rowan again. There we go. Twisting around. There's a float over neck breaker from Rude. Rude back up in the ring. Rude's going up top. Not a big part of his style. There's a big-time double knee drop to Erick Rowan on the floor of the arena here in Philadelphia. And now the crowd is behind this match. Now they're both involved. Now the King of Trios is an apparent storyline to build up to, as we are just 1 week away from our first round of qualifying matchups. and Rude just stomping away at will on Rowan. And again, he's got Rowan up on his shoulder, and the backbreaker one more time to the big man. And one more time, Rick Rude going to kiss those biceps, and he's going to spin Rowan around. And this could be the end of the match here. There's another gyration. You got to wear the big man down. It might take more than one finishing maneuver, but there is Rowan dead in the ring. Rick Rude for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and Ravishing Rick Rude does get the win over Erick Rowan in pretty impressive fashion, fighting back from a large deficit in this matchup. It looked like Rowan had it after that choke slam, but Rude was reinvigorated after kicking out and just took it to the big man afterward. And if this is anything to come for that King of Trios tournament, should the Wyatts and Team NXT meet, it looks like Team NXT has the big-time upper hand. We've got to see what Big John Studd can do in his match against Mark Henry next to see just how far that upper hand extends right now. But we will come right back for that Falls Count Anywhere match, followed by Heath Slater, Brodus Clay, followed by the main event, Zack Ryder versus The Miz non-title. Great matches coming up tonight, guys. We're not even halfway done yet. Don't go anywhere. Look at the gyration. And here's Mark Henry charging down to the ring. Big man running fast into a Luthez press. Well, their rivalry has gone too far, and there's the big body splash from Mark Henry to Big John Studd. We know how far back it extends. We go back to last month, and Mark Henry already with the world's strongest slam on the big man, Big John Studd. Unbelievable from him. Big John Studd is heartbroken for a big dummy this week. 1, 2. Oh, Studd does kick out. That was almost a ridiculously quick match. But we're going to go on here. This is Falls Count Anywhere between these two. Mark Henry just stormed the ring, went right into it with a big body splash and a world's strongest slam. Big John Studd doesn't even look like he's awake out there. But we know what's going on between these two. Big John Studd was your NXT champion last month. Henry thought he was the #1 contender. Our almighty and wonderful general manager Stephanie McMahon thought otherwise and gave a title match to The Miz at Extreme Rules. And The Miz won, and The Miz is now the champion. And instead of going after The Miz, Mark Henry continued to vet his frustrations against Big John Studd. And they came into this month together. Big John Studd went into a managerial relationship with Adeceve, but apparently throughout the course of 1 week, took it too far and took it to a romantic level, at which point Adeceve nullified their contract and took on Mark Henry instead as her client, helping him to try to manage his career back to a main eventing level, possibly getting him up to a WWE main roster in the process. Big John Studd could not separate his romantic feelings from the proceedings, breaking down week after week, going after Adeceve, trying to find her and kidnap her and take her on dates for crab legs that were completely unsolicited. Huge toss from Mark Henry there to Big John Studd. It all resulted in a restraining order being filed by Adeceve against Big John Studd last week on IWC, as we were made aware. He cannot be within 500 feet of her for fear of the law becoming involved in their strained managerial business relationship. She is noticeably not present at ringside here. That does allow this match to go on as the Falls Count Anywhere match. And instead of Adeceve coming out with Mark Henry just came out with the speed of a track star to finally take care of Big John Studd, the menace. Studd has gotten a win against Henry this month when they broke the ring several weeks ago in a main event, not a main event, our 4th event on NXT, where we actually had to take the time to put the damn thing back together. Took quite a long commercial break on that one. And Studd is up, and now Henry has him up. There's a gorilla press. Look at the strength of the big man there. And now Henry slams Big John Studd down to the mat. And Henry going after him with punches, but Studd with a reverse. Now Henry with his own reversal. And he's got Studd, and he's looking to throw him. And he's going to send him into the turnbuckle. Big move there. And now Henry has Studd up and down over his knee for a rib breaker. And Henry is all kinds of fired up in this match. This is a rivalry that is completely out of control. These two men hate each other. Big John Studd wants his lady back. Oh, and he's going to roll out of the ring slowly there. Nice whip from Henry. Mark Henry just wants to whip some sense into the idiot. But now Big John Studd throwing Henry off. We have made our way to the floor of the arena here in the Wells Fargo Center. Still 11,240 fans here watching this match, and they love seeing this from these two. There's the modified STO from Mark Henry to Big John Studd. And now there's one right back from Studd to Henry. These two have very similar styles, very similar body types, two huge behemoths in the ring. I can't believe the ring even stands up to them when they're merely just standing there staring each other down, let alone throwing each other out. Unbelievable throw from Mark Henry, and Big John Studd eats the floor of the arena, going face first into it. And now Henry over at the announcer's table here, he's taking it apart. But Studd is going under the ring, reaching for something as the ref looks on. He comes up with a chair, but Henry runs at him, and Henry is going to wrench the chair away, and now slams him across the head with the chair, right across the face, now slamming it down, throwing it at him, right at his ankle. The chair's freaking out on the floor, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like it's okay now. Studd is again going to go under the ring, and Henry, once again going at him, punches him in the gut as he comes up with a baseball bat. These two are looking to kill each other, and Henry goes down on top of that baseball bat. Studd going to get for him, but Henry with a kick to the nerds of Big John Studd. Now he gets the bat, runs at Studd, but Studd wrenches it away from him. And now Henry going to take it right back from Studd, and he simply drops it. He's not going to have this take it back contest. He's got punches to the back of Big John Studd, and now has him up by one leg. Big time single leg inverted atomic drop, all down on the right knee of Studd. And now Henry down on him, just punches to the face here. This is brutal, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't wrestling. This is just a street fight. Henry runs at him. Studd with a huge arm drag tosses Henry to the floor. And Henry kicks out after a 1 count there. Big John Studd with his own punches. But now Henry running at him again. Another modified STO. And now Henry just wailing down with stomps on the face of Big John Studd. And now Studd with his own STO to Mark Henry. And there's a kick to the back of the world's strongest man, and Big John Studd trying to take control again. And he's got him with his arm twisting around, and a big leverage punch right to the chest. And Henry falls over. I love that move. I love the reaction to it every time. It's very, very old school. And now Studd's got Henry up for the bear hug. Studd's got Henry up for the bear hug, and Henry's got nowhere to go. Falls count anywhere. He can lose on the floor, but Studd lets go. Unbelievably. And Henry falls down. Henry's back up now. And he's got Studd up and down with a body slam through the announcer's table. Goes Big John Studd. And now Mark Henry lifts him up. And he's going to throw him back into the ring. This doesn't have to end in the ring, but Henry's got something planned here. He lifts him up by the legs and stomps on the crotch. And now he's going to drag him away from the ropes here, ladies and gentlemen. And now Big John Studd struggling to get to his feet. Henry throws him over into the turnbuckle. And now wait a second, Mark Henry is placing Big John Studd up top. We know what happened last time. They went for a big move off the top rope, and Henry's going up. He's got the arm wrenched. We're going to have another superplex here. Henry gets him, and they're down, and the ring is broken again between these two. That's the second time in a month that they've done this. Everyone in the ring is unconscious. The ref's head hits the turnbuckle post. Big John Studd just bouncing around. That's got to be a concussion there. Mark Henry may be the one that survived the impact, but even he had a rough landing as everything collapsed under their combined weight. The ring is out of commission, and Mark Henry is getting up. Other ring officials are making their way down, and they are going to award the match to Mark Henry by way of knockout, the same way that he originally lost to Big John Studd. Unbelievable. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our 4th match of the evening. Again, a very long commercial break there. We apologize if your stream was messed up at all, but we had to put this ring back together. All of our technicians had to come out here after that crazy finish to Mark Henry and Big John Studd, where now this time Mark Henry superplexed Big John Studd through the NXT ring, ending a match, knocking the other man unconscious. And while we were putting the ring back together, while Studd was taken out of the arena on a gurney, Mark Henry was being looked at by the EMTs in the arena. And one thing this announcer noticed was that the fans did not stop cheering for him. He has for the most part, been looked at as a big bad menace here in NXT, but taking on Big John Studd, it appears as though the fans have chosen the lesser of two evils. He received an incredible ovation after that very passionate and emotional match he just had. It looks like the fans are happy that he's standing up for his manager, Adeceve, in her legal plight against Big John Studd. Either way, there's a huge spinning heel kick from Heath Slater to Brodus Clay. This is our fourth match. It's a one fall between Slater, who is, having his own troubles right now, and Brodus Clay, the one-man piece of destruction here in NXT. He is one half of your NXT Tag Team Champions. He is your Internet Champion after winning in a hastily assembled match at last month's Extreme Rules pay-per-view that Stephanie McMahon only put together because she knew how much it would help the buy rate of the pay-per-view. She is such a genius, isn't she, guys? Either way, into this match, we are outside. The ref is counting Heath Slater. We know all about his problems within the three-man band. Coming into this year's Universe mode, there's a big shoulder tackle, and they're working their way up the entrance ramp now as the ref continues counting. Snapmare from Brodus Clay. Heading into this Universe mode, Heath Slater was the de facto leader of the three-man band. He was, throughout last month, replaced by Drew McIntyre, as McIntyre had a series of matches against his competitors and brethren and friends within the 3MB. Oh, and there's a big jumping reverse something from Heath Slater, and now Heath Slater freaking out, getting Brodus Clay to his feet. Slater's been feuding with the RAUSCH all month long in an effort to bring his own personal stock back up, and there's a big-time high-impact DDT from Heath Slater, and now Slater is stomping on the chest of Brodus Clay. And if I used music in this Universe mode, you would hear that this is the RAUSCH's music. The RAUSCH who Slater has been feuding with. And now Brodus Clay is up behind Heath Slater. Slater could have gone for the pin there, but instead he's got to deal with the Funkasaurus behind him. And Slater now, emboldened by hearing that music, trying to go at him, but Clay just puts him down. Clay, the most dominant man in NXT. Slater, the most psychologically conflicted man. And there is the RAUSCH. The RAUSCH has come out to ringside. And he's up on the apron. And he's going for Heath Slater, but Slater hits the drop kick from the top rope and now heads out of the ring, and he goes after the RAUSCH, and these two are brawling outside, ladies and gentlemen. They are on opposing teams in the King of Trios. Each one of these men is on a different King of Trios team from NXT. You've got Team NXT, you've got 3MB, and you've got the Tons of Funk all here. Heath Slater with an amazing combo to the RAUSCH, and now a Russian leg sweep to Brodus Clay, and there's just an all-out brawl on the outside as Slater kicks Clay in the back, and Slater trying to chase the RAUSCH up the entrance ramp. Trying, and he's not going to get up there, and the RAUSCH heads backstage, and now Slater, tired, is in danger of being counted out of this match, but he is going to get back in the ring, and we're going to continue on as the RAUSCH made his presence felt here. Those two have gone back and forth, and it's interesting that the RAUSCH did that, because to this point, this hasn't been any kind of aggravated rivalry on his part. He's been the rookie. He's been very humble. He's been modest. He's gone out. He's fought hard. He's won a match. He's lost a few matches. He's done his thing, but Slater, lost in his own head, knows that he has something to prove against the young guy, and he's been kicking the crap out of him with really unfair stipulations as much as humanly possible. And here is a nasty submission held in by Brodus Clay, and Heath Slater has to try to crawl across the ring to get out of it, but Clay does lose his grip, and Slater's going to get up out of that. And now Clay has him by the throat, and there's a big-time STO, and that's going to go into a chokehold for a second on the ring before the ref breaks that up. But now Slater with a running neck breaker, taking down the big man, and now Slater once again up top. Huge elbow drop, misses, and Slater very, very intelligently gets out of the ring right before Clay can stomp on him. So for whatever reason, it appears the RAUSCH is now playing Heath Slater's own game in this WWE 2K14 universe, coming out and interfering in one of his matches, distracting him, trying to get himself further in his own head. And it's very interesting to see it from the newcomer who has not done anything like this yet. And now there's another huge high-impact DDT from Heath Slater to Brodus Clay. This time we've got a pin. 1, 2, 3. Heath Slater fights through the distraction of the RAUSCH, and he wins over the double champion Brodus Clay with a humongous DDT. The brawl outside of the ring, taking care of the RAUSCH on the entrance ramp. Heath Slater's got a lot going on. He's got to deal with the fact that Paul Heyman is now managing 3MB, whether or not Slater actually wants it, to try to put them back together. He's got to deal with them becoming a cohesive team heading into King of Trios. He's got to deal with his own singles career, and he's got to deal with his friendship with Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. But either way, he's going to leave the ring after this match, and he's grabbing a steel chair. He's got no beef with Brodus Clay, but he's so angry at himself and his situation that he's going after Clay. But RAUSCH in the ring, going to take care of business. RAUSCH comes in to save Clay, and Heath Slater is going to leave now. And the RAUSCH checking up on Clay after the match. What a good guy. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, main event time from Philly. Huge flapjack from Zack Ryder to take advantage of the running Miz there. Non-title, they've met before. They'll meet again this Sunday. We've got Zack Ryder and the NXT champion, The Miz, taking each other on. They've developed somewhat of an athletic rivalry. They're not the most hated competitors at this point, but they do both want the belt that The Miz has around his waist. He won it last month, beating Big John Studd at NXT Extreme Rules, and he stands a really good chance to lose it next Sunday, this coming Sunday, I should say, just days away from NXT Over the Limit. They will main event the show. They have a title match. Our esteemed general manager, Stephanie McMahon, does not have any stipulation for us as of yet, but they will have a match in the main event. Oh, Miz with a nice reversal, kicking the chest of Zack Ryder, but Ryder into his own reversal, taking the double axe handle into an over-the-knee backbreaker. Wonderful move, and Ryder runs at him for a big float-over neckbreaker, and this match is off to an explosive start. Heading into this pay-per-view week, we have had an insanely emotional and passionate night tonight here on NXT. Each of our matches driven by emotion, heading into both Over the Limit and next month's extended King of Trios tournament, as well as the NXT Royal Rumble pay-per-view that these guys are all going to be interested in taking part in. It's been an unbelievable night here. We've had the ring broken between Mark Henry and Big John Studd as Henry does everything he can to stand up for his manager, Adeceve, and win the hearts of the NXT fans in the process. We had, there's a nice abdominal stretch from Zack Ryder locked in away from the ropes, and Miz is going to have trouble with that one, but it looks like, yes, Ryder does let go. The ref counts there. We just had an insane match between Heath Slater and Brodus Clay, where all of Slater's inner demons this month being demoted in 3MB, losing against a rookie to start the month out. Everything that he's been dealing with in NXT, Paul Heyman's arrival to manage 3MB last week on IWC programming, everything came out against Brodus Clay, and Slater scored a huge win despite the RAUSCH trying to interfere and get in his head, and then the RAUSCH feeling bad that he helped aid in Heath Slater's own kind of fiery temper that beat Brodus Clay, came out to save Clay from a steel chair attack at the end of the match. We're not sure if that says anything about the relationship between the RAUSCH and Brodus Clay at this point, or if it just says that the RAUSCH was trying to help someone from the monster that he has helped create this month with their series of ever more extreme matches. Gotta hope that that was the last time we saw those two taking each other on for the sake of everyone else on this NXT roster. And now Zack Ryder going up top, misses a big-time elbow drop, and Miz takes advantage, stepping over with some left-handed punches, going weak hand to show off as the champion should do. There is Miz slamming the arm of Ryder down, and now from behind is the Miz. There's a Russian leg sweep from him. We just got to see that the other way, and you've got the end of the match pretty much. There's another slam of the arm of Zack Ryder, but now Ryder kips up, and he's got Miz twisting his own arm around. And now Miz throws Ryder into the corner, but now Ryder throwing the Miz in. And now throwing him across into the other turnbuckle. And now Ryder again going to throw Miz, but Miz reverses. And Ryder stepping up onto the second rope. Big time drop kick from the second rope from Zack Ryder. We know this comeback a lot. But he misses, and the Miz throws him into the turnbuckle. And now Ryder working from behind. Going to throw Miz into the corner again. Could we see it set up again? No, the Miz kicks out of it, kicks him in the gut. And one big boot to the chest sends Ryder rolling across the ring. But now Ryder with a punch across the throat runs at Miz. Lots of running in this match, lots of energy. There is a big-time neck breaker from Zack Ryder, and he's going for the pin of the champion. Just a one count, and the Miz does kick out. The Miz has looked like quite an impressive champion all month long against Ryder, but Ryder is not giving up. He is ready for his shot. He is ready to hold that belt until next year's WrestleMania, and he's ready to show why he should be the champion of NXT. The Miz has the same designs. The Miz already plotting out what he would do when he gets to either Raw or SmackDown come next year. But either way, no matter who leaves Over the Limit, on Sunday as the NXT champion, has a hell of a long road to get through as champion before any kind of promotion can be discussed from that belt. And there's Miz with the big-time sweeping snapmare. And he's going to drag Zack Ryder toward the center of the ring. And now Miz going for the pin on Ryder. Ryder does kick out at just that 1 count. And now Miz from behind, dragging Ryder across the ring, trying to bring him toward the ropes, it looks like. He leans him up against the ropes. And he's going to throw him toward the ring apron. And now Miz is just kind of taunting him. We're not sure what's happening. But now Miz steps out onto the apron with Zack Ryder. And he has him set up. And there's a DDT on the ring apron. And the Miz throws Zack Ryder down. The fans here in Philly are screaming. That was an unbelievable high-impact move from the NXT champion. And Zack Ryder looks like he may very well be unconscious. The Wells Fargo Center is alive here in our main event tonight. They've seen a lot here in Philly, but they're still very emotionally involved in the proceedings. And now Zack Ryder is up, and the ref is counting, but Ryder needs to take a minute to shake his head to dust it all off. And now Miz comes out after him, and Ryder with a big belly-to-back suplex. Good amateur maneuver there, stomps on him. This announcer's table has also been put back together after that big Mark Henry and Big John Studd match. And the Miz with an STO through the table to Zack Ryder. And a big back body drop when Ryder runs at him. And the Miz is just dominating now. Double elbow drop there, and Ryder is groggy, and Miz is going to leave him dazed outside of the ring as the Miz himself goes back in and just slicks his hair back. Ryder does get back in, though, before he's counted out, and the match is going to continue on. Ryder lifting his arm over into a big-time suplex, rolling over for the pin, but we have a rope break as Miz's feet did go underneath the bottom rope there. And a big running float-over DDT from Zack Ryder to the Miz. And now Ryder goes to pick him up, but Miz sweeps out the legs. Ryder gets back up. These two are just all frenetic energy in this match. Zack Ryder, big twisting back suplex to the champion. And going for the legs, the Miz kicks him right in the face. And now they go for it. Side headlock from Ryder. Gets the arm over, and there's another snap suplex from Zack Ryder to the Miz. And now Ryder picking the Miz up from behind. Got his arm over, and we're going to have it a reverse suplex into a backbreak or something. I don't know what these moves are called, guys. Deal with it. And now Ryder picks him up. And the big time step over leg drop from Zack Ryder to the Miz in the corner. And he's going to go for the pin here, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the champ down. 1, 2, 3. That's your match. Zack Ryder, days before he gets his title opportunity, pins your NXT champion, The Miz. He's going into Over the Limit on a high note, despite going through a table, despite the DDT on the ring apron. What an unbelievable night we saw here today. I am honestly hard-pressed to think of a go-home show this good, this meaningful, this powerful with its programming. Stephanie McMahon truly is an amazing general manager for booking this card the way that we saw it tonight. Not that she wouldn't be a great general manager either way, but everyone here in Philly is going to be leaving on fire. These fans are incredibly happy, and there is Zack Ryder relishing the win. He knows all he has to do is that exact result one more time, and he walks out of Over the Limit, your NXT champion, next week. What a night, guys. If you like this video, please leave a big fat like on it so hard that I can feel it, because I'm in Florida right now. I didn't tell you that. I want to feel it down there. I'm on vacation, yo. And if you're new here and you like my universe mode and the way that I tell stories, consider subscribing. I like telling stories to people and not just myself. I'd love for you to stick around. Either way, guys, you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to do that with mine, and I'm pretty sure Zack Ryder is going to enjoy his too. You guys take it easy. Bye-bye.
Yeah.